Peace, family. How y'all? Just putting up two pieces. Got to come up with the most positive ways possible to process some of this pain. So here it goes. These two pieces, same painting, same boy. I know 13, 14, 15, 16 years old about. It's called Becoming. You know, it's our son, it's my sons and my grandsons, and it's that age, you know, when their voice starts to crack and pubic hair starts to show up, and they grew a couple of inches over the summer, and they're getting big, and you're starting to get scared because now they don't look like a boy anymore, they look like a man. And you know that in this society, in this hemisphere, once they get to that age, there's another section or part of our community, people that see them that way. That's the boogeyman. And still don't understand how this little boy right here, that's so beautiful with them eyes that says, I want to become everything that all the other boys on the planet want to become, becomes that. The people. You don't got to do nothing. All you got to do is just be. And he can literally, you know, his father could see him like that, and the man standing right next to him, or the woman standing could see that, and they be so convinced that that's who they see, you know. And you ask yourself, where did that come from? You know, where did that image come from? Where did America get the idea of this little boy? You know, I'm a historian, so I don't like supposition. I like facts. You know, the fact is that D.W. Griffith, who's called the father of American theater, cinema, because he understood the motion picture could be used as a persuasive tool, as a way to really get people to see your point of view. And he made a film called Birth of a Nation that debuted in 1915, more than 100 years ago, a little over 100 years ago. The president at the time debuted it at the White House and said it was like lightning in the bottle. And the first time anybody ever saw the Ku Klux Klan riding on horses, all of that imagery that sort of we take for granted now, that's sort of just a part of America's lexicon. He created it. And even more importantly, he created him. You know, got a white actor to put blackface on him and curly wig, and he chased him all over the movie, and in the end they hung him. And, you know, the 80-year-old white man was born in, 1943, I think? And shot another one of our sons twice in his head, and now this boy's fighting for his life. I saw it on Questlove's wall, and, you know, I know Quest, I love Quest. Saw the young man with a saxophone, so I thought he was just celebrating another one of our children, because Quest would do that in a minute. And so I stopped to read it, and you know, got hit right in the middle of my chest again, like before, and been hurting all day and stuck all day and numb all day. I guess this is how I'm downloading, you know. That white man was born in 1943. You know, you do the math, you know. D.W. Griffith was debuted 1915. You know, I'm gonna tell you what's really interesting about that, and why it's important to connect the dots with history. His father was Jacob Ward Griffith. Who was he? Well, he was a senator from Kentucky, or a congressman, one of them two. But he fought in the Spanish-American War, or the Indian War, they like to call it. And he was also one of the generals that escorted Jefferson Davis as he fled after the South lost. So just imagine this man now coming back, and he was from Virginia, a part that's now West Virginia, called West Virginia now. So imagine this pissed off white man coming back home to his son and his wife, and this little boy sitting and hearing this man gripe in and out about losing this civil war and all the rights that he had lost as a white man, and his right to own African people and own people. And this boy, if you don't even need to have a big imagination when you wonder, well, where did he get all of the fodder to come up with a thing like Birth of a Nation that basically gave America in the 20th century their description of black people, black men, and that you think about early advertising. Go to any library and go, on and Google it, or Google if you need to if you're lazy. Go to anybody, go to any library. I did that years ago, and you can go and look at the old advertisements, and you could see how that 1915 film influenced all of them. That advertising, the big lips and the soap that'll wash the black off of you, and the Uncle Ben's and the Aunt Jemimas, all of those things came out of Griffith's imagination, and it came out, by virtue of that, came out of his father's anger and his father's griping over losing a war and losing his right to be a white man and own somebody, and yeah. Boogeyman. So when they see us, this is what they see. When they send these white boys from Long Island, in the outskirts of upstate New York to come into the city, to come police black folks, they shook. Because this is what they know. This is what the stories their grandfather told them, the stories their great-grandfather told them. This is just what they know. You know what I'm saying? The same way I left Antigua as an 11-year-old boy, and I still remember all the rules of cricket because my grandfather taught it to me when I was a kid in the 70s. It doesn't go anywhere. It stays in your head. You know what I'm saying? We let Jerry Jones, we see him in a photograph yelling at Ruby Ridge when she's trying to, infiltrate or break America's all-white school system. And everybody's now shocked. Shocked? The kind of man that he grew into. A lot of those people, a lot of them kids you see smiling into the camera at lynchings. Who are they? What did they become? Huh? Were they your principal, the principal that told you wouldn't amount to shit, or that teacher that told you wouldn't amount to shit? Is that the grandfather of that child, of that, of those people? That's the kind of stuff we got to check into. And I pray for the young man, and I really hope he makes it through. I think the fact that the Creator spared his life I hope is a symbol of us, of our resilience, you know what I'm saying? And he does come through that, I got this book. It's called Free Your Tongue Heavy Like a 56. I got this poem in it. It's called The Raising of a Pig for Walter Scott. Walter Scott is another black man that was killed by the police for being black a couple of years ago. In the shadow of an oak tree, haunted by Mississippi, in a congregation of unholy men, bent on spilling blood in carnal sacrifice that reeks of medieval rituals. Hiding participation behind white sheets that cover dark hearts, dark as a forsaken conscience, planted in the darkness of Jim Crow, burning crucifixes in feathers and tars, scorched into the hearts of suckling babes, with hate as hot as purgatory, nurtured on the convictions of a nation for the people, by the people, with white skin and white privilege, tortured by the what if of righteous vengeance, murdered as a sedative to feed the ghosts of memories that come when they feel and leave when they feel, sipping sarsaparilla on daddy's shoulders in the shadow of that oak swinging rope, learning right and wrong, learning white and black, learning to tie a lynching knot, learning to shoot a lynching shot in the shadow of that oak tree, justification wrapped in machinations of a monster, black men that rape the blue-eyed blondness of white womanhood, perpetually Bigger Thomas, perpetual boogeyman in the cathedral of whiteness to be feared at all costs. Protect the women and children white. Protect the women and children white. Protect the white women and children in their Rapunzel tower of goodness, hiding participation behind blue walls of silence. Little brother, I send strength. I send love to your family. To all the brothers and sisters out there on the edge of their seat, panicking and wondering, what do we do? Vomit up the romance, shit out the hopes, and tell our children the truth so that they can be protected and not naive and walk into these things. And contemplate elsewhere. I know many of you say that, your family picked cotton and built this country. You don't gotta leave, but do what they do. When Obama was president, they went to their chateaus in Italy and here and there and there. You don't need You don't need chateaus. You just need to realize that there's a whole black and brown world out there with people who will welcome you in the Caribbean. You know, there's parts of the Caribbean you can go and build a house for $20,000 US. You know, set up a place that you can go and take some downtime. You know, it should be places right now that we should be able to take our black children away, not to Disney World, outside of this, of these borders, so they can exhale and we can hug on them and tell them there's nothing that they, you know, they should not fear being black and young or black and old. They should not fear, should not, the fact that their skin looks like this and their nose looks like this and their lips like this should not be some sort of punishment or some sort of target bullseye, you know? Yeah. Get out the way, you know? Our children becoming boogeyman. Becoming boogeyman. Becoming boogeyman. Trying to tell my brother, listen what I say. Don't go down that way, they'll swing you from a tree. Listen to me, brother, listen what I say. Don't go down that way, they'll swing you from a tree. Listen, little brother, listen what I say. What I say. Don't go down that way, they swing you from a tree.